So I want to use, I want to give you one couple more examples actually. So this example has more than one terms. Instead of just x and x square, we have more than one. There is x squared plus x minus 1. But I want to use limit definition for this, or we call limit process. The method of doing this, writing limit delta x tends to 0, that definition is called limit definition or limit process. Okay. So to find out the derivative of this function, what we want to do is just use the formula, because it asks use the limit definition, right? So how do I use the formula? Solution is what is f prime of x? The formula is limit. I can write h tends to 0. Okay, instead of delta x, I can write h tends to 0. There is not a problem. Exactly the same way. Instead of x plus delta x, I am writing h minus f of x divided by h. You can write that way too. If you don't like to use delta x, you can use h. That is perfectly fine. So what is f of x plus h? Limit h tends to 0. F of x plus h will be, replace x by x plus h, right? It will be x plus h square plus x plus h, right? Minus 1. That is f of x plus h. Minus what is f of x? It is x square plus x minus 1 divided by h is there. Now what we do, you FOIL that x plus h square and then just simplify that. Okay, so I can write this as limit h tends to 0. X plus h square will be x plus h times x plus h, right? So how do you do that? It is like you can write that scratch as x plus h times x plus h, right? How much is that? It is x times x is x square. It is just foiling, right? X square, x times h is xx plus xh plus h times x is xh plus h square, right? So you can write x square plus xh plus xh is 2xh. So you can write this as basically x square plus 2xh plus h square, right? And you distribute that positive sign to x and h, plus x plus h minus 1, and then again you distribute that negative sign here, negative x square minus x plus 1 divided by h. Okay, now how do you simplify? You cancel out that positive 1, negative 1, right? Also you cancel out negative x and positive x. Also you cancel out negative x square and positive x square. So what is left there? You are left with, basically you are left with limit h tends to 0. There is 2xh plus h square, right? You can factor out h. If you factor out h, you will get 2x plus h plus 1, right? Because there is one more term. You see that? Which are the terms left there? This is one term left, that is another term, and that is another term. You see that? So divide by, you see that is h, right? Now you cancel that h and h. So how do I cancel that? You cancel that h and h. So what is left is limit h tends to 0, 2x plus h plus 1. Now you plug in h equals to 0, right? So when you plug in h equals to 0, you will get 2x plus 1. So this is defining the derivative by using the limit definition. Okay, this is finding the derivative by using the limit definition. Now the question is, if you use that power rule formula directly, would you be able to find out that, get that answer? Yes, absolutely yes. Why? Because you see that, what is the derivative of x squared? The formula says the derivative of x squared is 2x2 minus 1, basically 2x, right? The derivative of x squared is 2x. What is the derivative of x? The derivative of x squared is 2x, the derivative of x is 1, right? So 2x plus 1. The derivative of 1 is 0. Why is that? The derivative of a constant number, it can be 1 or 2 or 3. If there is a derivative of a number, it is always 0. Why? Because you can use that formula. Again, you can use this power rule formula. Let me show you how can I use the power rule formula to find out the to find out the derivative of a constant, right? So suppose you want to find out the derivative, y is say 1. Okay, so how do I find out y prime? If 1 is basically, how can you write that 1? You can write 1 as x to the 0, right? So how do you do that then? It is like 0 times x times 0 minus 1. You see that? Because if there is x to the n, the formula says nx n minus 1. That's the formula, right? So I'm writing the power times x to the power minus 1. Okay, so what do you get? 0 times 1 over x, right? Or you can write 0 times x to the negative 1. We are assuming that x is non-zero there. So it is basically 0. If there is like y equals to 5, you can write that as 5 times x to the 0, right? So you can write, so y prime will be 5 times, what is the derivative of x to the 0 is 0 times x times 0 minus 1. So it is basically 0. This is basically 0 and the 5 times 0. So if there is just a constant not attached with x, then the derivative is always 0. So we will see that in the next section too, okay? So let us see some more examples on finding the derivative by limit process.